team, and what's everything looking like so far?
It's good. Just exciting to have meetings that are, obviously surrounded around travel and competition. Obviously summer's been, there's a lot of just preparation to get to here. So I think the guys are in a really good spot, practicing really good this week. We got a handful of guys going to Michigan State Open this weekend, so I'm excited to watch them compete. And obviously we get our seasons kicked off next weekend, Utah Valley and Oregon State.
Who are some of those guys going to the Michigan State Open this weekend?
I think Jake just put a list out.
Yeah, I just put it on Twitter about 20 minutes ago,
So, be good. I think, the match count is so much less now than what it used to be when I competed. So, when you get a chance to go get some matches, just got to make sure we're getting our guys matches so they can compete throughout the season.
How are you working in terms of a lineup? Is that something that you're ready to announce, or is it something that will still take a little bit of time?
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good idea of who's wrestling the first weekend. It'll be Spratley, Witchcraft, Woodcraft, 41, not sure yet, Carter, Teague, Cam, DJ, Dustin, Serber, and Wyatt. So, looking forward to that first weekend. Obviously, getting ready to roll.
How's Carter's knee holding up?
I don't know. Do you know something I don't know?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Just because of the injury a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, no, good. Yeah, scared me. I was like, what, something I don't know about?
He had surgery last year.
Yeah, no, he's good. He actually is looking really, really sharp. He looked really good in the wrestle-off on Monday, and really excited to, obviously for him to go out and compete. Seems to be in a really good headspace right now, and yeah, it's looking really sharp.
Can there be benefits to a redshirt year for a guy?
Yeah, I think red shirts are a benefit. I just think, typically you see them right off the bat. But sometimes you wrestle and sometimes you need them later, in time. I just think in a red shirt, you're just got to be focused. You got to kind of figure out what you want to do and make sure you're still getting better. I think that's the most important thing.
Talk a little bit about the World Championships and that experience.
Yeah, it was good. It was when I competed earlier in my career, I always had really good clarity, and I'd love to get out there and compete. And towards the end, started to struggle a little more, with those things. I think when you have achieved everything, it's sometimes hard to continue to stay hungry and focused. And it was nice to go into this World Championships knowing, it was my last one. Started to just really appreciate a lot of things that, all the things I'd done in my career, but also just the little things on that trip. Just warming up, you're lacing up your shoes, you're taping your shoes. Just the things that you kind of take for granted when you're in it all the time. When you're this is it. So that was good. Spending time with Jimmy, spending time with Braden was great, and glad I competed. And I think when you finish your career, not many people get to finish completely satisfied, and I feel completely satisfied, with what I was able to do, and looking forward to now moving to this next chapter.
When we had a media day, a lot of the wrestlers made available were talking about Troy Spratley's growth over the offseason. How have you seen him grow, and what are you looking forward to from him this upcoming season?
Yeah, Troy is he's a little spark plug, and I think it's great to have that type of personality with the 125-pounder. They're kicking off your, kicking off your team. It's a guy that people rally around. So he just wrestles a high pace. He's got a lot of energy. He can score in all positions. So yeah, just excited. And he's going to have obviously a pretty challenging start to the season. Some good competition. So I think he's definitely looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to him getting us started off really strong in these dual meets.
How did you feel about the way you wrapping up your competitive career? How did you feel about the way you performed and finished?
I feel pretty good about it. It's I don't know. When you're competing full time, that's all you do. I haven't had a rest or recovery day in 4 months. you know. So, you know, when you're a little older, it's a little challenging in that way. But I think when I went out there and I was able to kind of rest and recover, you know, leading into the competition, and yeah, I mean, I think I performed really well. I'm really happy to finish the way I did. You know, I've never really been satisfied for anything. It's the first time in my life I was ever satisfied with something that wasn't, you know, gold or first place. But I wasn't going there for a medal. I wasn't going there. I've achieved all those things. It's just closure. You know, I think that's what it is. Just closure. You know, and I feel really good about that.
Was there anything, a feeling or a moment that you knew going in that you're like, I just want to enjoy this or have this happen, or was there anything that you were sort of like, if I feel this way, maybe I'll decide to compete again? Like, was there anything you were sort of looking for to solidify that decision either way?
Oh yeah, there was zero chance I was competing after that tournament. You know, it just, you know, not chasing anything anymore. You know, chase is over. But and from that side of things, obviously. But no, I think I just wanted to go out wrestling the way that I started. You know, with the intent to just go out. You know, and I just kind of felt going to my last match. You know, the Irene's good, 2-time world champion, and just envisioned in my mind like, it'd be great to just go out breaking this guy. You know, finishing kind of the way, doing things that I've done my whole life, and you know, was just very focused on the match and was able to go out with the intent of what I wanted to do. So, you know, I was happy about that.
Just talked to a few coaches about this, but you know, kind of an array of different perspectives. But I'm curious, were you a fan of whenever they bumped up the takedown total from 2 to 3? And just how did you see that kind of affect the sport a year ago?
You know, I think people will adapt. They try and change rule sets because they want something out of it, right? They want more scoring. I don't think it changed that. You know, it's the same amount of scoring. It just there's more points on the board. So, you know, for us, I look at the scoring as a great opportunity to go out and dominate some people. You know, and take down to the back riding time in a major decision. You know, you used to have to work a little harder to do that. So, you know, we focus a lot in those areas, and you know, whatever the rules change to, you know, obviously we're ready to go.
Was it obvious at all how different some of the matches materialized because you know had to score more to catch up?
Well, you don't have to score more to catch up. You're just not as far away as you think you are. You know, I think that's you play mind games. Like you think if you were down like 6 points or 7 points in years past, you're like, shoot, I'm out of this. Well, now with 3-point takedowns and 4-point near falls, I mean, it's one exchange. You go from a major decision. You know, one exchange you get up by a major. The next one, tech fall, or instead of being up by a major, you're in a 1-point match. You know, so I think you're not really. It's not as much scoring. It was harder in the older rules. Now it's just, you know, sequence by sequence. You can make up a lot of points in a short period of time.
Now that you're back and, you know, wrestling, competing, I guess, is behind you, what was the change in your approach to practice and all those things like that, and I guess your focus and whatever as you went through this week versus the last couple of weeks while you still been wrestling?
I just think you step in and just, you know, you're moving forward into what's next. You know, never was intent to be like a sideshow or anything like that. You know, even when I was getting ready, you know, I was wrestling in the mornings, but running practice in the afternoon. So, you know, this week just been focusing on more running practice because my back hurts. You know, from wrestling so many matches and traveling back, but you know, feeling better now, getting ready to get back on the mat. Gotta show these guys some half Nelsons and stuff.
What do you think that experience did for Braden to be there with you?
I think it was really good. You know, prior to going on this trip, Braden was pretty quiet. You know, felt like around us, and spending the time with him this weekend, he really opened up. It was good to spend time with him, and I just think he learned a lot. You know, when you get an opportunity to do something like that, and when you're not the sole focus, you learn so much, you know, like because he obviously wasn't going to wrestle in the World Championships, but he was there, he was around it. You got to see everybody. He realized, man, everybody gets nervous, everybody warms up, everyone, you know, no matter. You just kind of think, well, when you're a world champion or these best guys in the world, they don't feel this. You feel the same things, but it's just how you compartmentalize those things. How do you handle those things, right? And I think that's what you get to see. And he was looking around and he was, you know, learning about those things, and then just. Learning from just from us rolling around and wrestling, so I thought it was really good to have
sometimes even when you get away for a brief period of time, when you come back to something, you see some things differently. When you came back to the room and we're watching practice after being in Albania, where there's something, oh, okay, yeah, that's good, bad, and different.
I was a lot more orange. Yeah, not much orange in Albania.
It's a good observation.
Mm.
What is the predominant color of Albania? I've never been.
I don't know. It was
Gray?
weird. Yeah, it was a weird place. You had like mountains, and you had a resort, and you had wild dogs running around. I mean, it was a little bit of everything. But you know, it just mostly you get in the venue, you got wrestling mats, and you got really high level wrestling, and I mean, you're not going over there for vacation. That's for sure.
I know you probably answered it. I was late coming from work. As you left it, because I kept trying to think of during the process, how does David Taylor seeing this? Obviously, you didn't want to lose that first match, but I kept thinking, God, I'd be damn proud of myself for getting through the Repechar and getting the bronze. That still, to me, in that vein, when you weren't even planning to compete, hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we talked about it. I just think going and competing was it just gave me closure on that part of my life, you know. And it's been a big part of my life. I've been competing at the highest level since I was 8, you know. So it's a long time, you know. And getting a chance to go out that way was great. It wasn't about what the color of the medal was for me this time. I mean, it didn't change. I was a competitor. I wanted to win, obviously, but also I think it helps, you know. It's just, dude, in wrestling, not everything goes your way. You know, like, you could be really prepared. You might lose the first round of the national tournament. You know, you can say, oh, maybe I'll try next year. You suck it up and you win 8 matches and you get third. You know, and it was a weird thing to wrestle. I've not wrestled in many wrestlebacks in my career. You know, so it's a weird thing. You know, kind of your fate's in someone else's hands. You know, obviously, Stud July was able to win and pull me back in, and you know, you just got to make the most of it. And probably the biggest thing was, you know, I felt like, you know, when I was really dominant in my career, you know, people were, I didn't really feel like they got a chance, you know. And you see there's a chink in your armor, you get the best of those guys. You know, they fought me with a little more fire than what they had in the past, so I had to scrap that next day. And you know, you get to the last match, you just know this last 6 minutes, you wrestle like a turd, you're going to think about the rest of your life. You know, you wrestle like you want to, you know, you put your head down, fall asleep easy, so I was able to wrestle the way I wanted to.
Was there any moment with the guys when you got back in the room, or had they already reached out by that point?
No, not really. You know, it's just like we're just back into it. You know, we got some work to do. Right back into run of practice. You know, got back at 9:30. We had some recruits in town, and you know, that next week we had guys on the mat. And we had practices. We had recruits. You know, and through the weekend and into practice this week. You know, we got some different schedules, so we're just kind of helping those guys and their schedule. You know, it's just looking forward to getting these guys ready to wrestle.
You left 141 a little open-ended when you were talking about the lineup. Can you expand on that at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, Taken's going up wrestling Michigan State Open this weekend, and you know, he's looking really good, working to get his weight down. You know, so you know, just making sure he's set up to have success this year.
Coach, there's obviously a difference between a major difference between a good heavyweight and an elite heavyweight, and what that can do for a team. And when it comes to a dual match, being able to have one and bring that to someone like Wyatt, what can that do for you guys in a dual match?
Yeah, I mean, Wyatt's a bonus point scoring guy. You know, it's good. It's good to have really good 125-pounder. It's good to have really good heavyweight. You know, we're fortunate to have that. And, got a lot of great guys all up and down the lineup. So I just think we feel good about it. You know, Wyatt's excited this year. He's got a pretty big goal in mind, and you know, it's just every match is one match a little closer for him. So he's just right now focused on just keep getting better every day.
All good?
Thanks.
Thank you.